Hello everyone, today we're doing the Roman to integer problem. Last time we did it in C# and today we're doing it in JavaScript. So let's go. The first thing that I want to mention is that the problem is consisted of the following. We get a string of a particular Roman integer, meaning x for example, which stands for 10, v which stands for 5, and so on and so forth. Our goal is to take this string and return a adequate number. So 235, for example, oops, or 218, and so on and so forth. That's the idea. Now, the only thing that is very specific with the Roman string is that there are a couple of ways that we can manipulate the numbers. This is I, and we can place it before V, and this is going to produce a 4, while this is going to produce a 6. So when it's on the left, we actually subtract the number, and if it's in the right side here, we actually add it. And that's why we get 5 minus 1, which is 4, and 5 plus 1, which is 6. Now I'm not going to bother with that. I'm actually going to take the related topic, a hash table, and I'm going to build this hash table, but I'm also going to place these. Since I don't want to do calculations, and that's going to be slower because here in the hash set we can just take it in a constant time, I'm going to take these and I'm actually going to place them into my hash set. So I already did that because it's very slow to do it with you, and it's this. So I'm going to say let object is going to be equal, and now I'm going to map our string to an integer. Now keep in mind I have this thing over here, so they gave it while placing the conditions. What they didn't include, however, is that IV can also be placed in the hash table, and that's what I did here. I'm not going to see if I is placed before something or after something to do the calculations. What I'm going to see is if I is here on the first place, is there something after I? And that is the way that I'm going to see if I actually have a specific string. Now, a special condition is when I have I, I'm going to check if the next one is V or X, because I cannot be placed before L, for example. And if it is, then I'm going to build them together, and then I'm going to look into the hash table. I'm not going to subtract or add anything. So with that said, the difficult part is out of the way. Let's say testing string. I'm going to be using this testing string, or actually it's a better name to say lookup string. Now that's self-describing. Now I need to say let result is going to be equal 0, or I can say Roman to int result. That's a little bit better. And what's left for me to do is to actually take the characters and look into the dictionary, get the value, add it, and just return the result. So let's do that. I'm just going to go with a for loop here. So I'm going to say let index equals, or I can say array index equals 0. Array index is less than our s length, and I'm going to, of course, increment it to go forward. Now I'm going to take a character, so I'm going to say current character is going to be equal to char at array index, and probably it's going to be better if I say current index, but it doesn't matter. Now when I have the character, now I can say Roman to int results, and I can say plus equal the key that we have in the hash table, and that's going to be current character. And if I return Roman to int here, you're going to see that with I and with VII and with what else? V. Is that legit? No, that should be 10, but in reality we have X for that. Yeah, that's not a valid Roman string. Okay, let's just place it like that. So this is going to be returning a successful result simply because now I have the possibility to take the character and just look at the hash table, what kind of a value I have, add it, and then I'm just going to return the result. Problem is, if I have this, now this is going to return 6 for me, but I wanted to return 4. Now it's returning 6 because it's taking the first character I, it says 1, and then it's taking the v, which is 5, and it says 1 plus 5, and it's returning 6. Now I want to mitigate that. That is going to be our edge case here, because I can be placed before v. So whenever I have this case, and I'm going to say the current character is equal to either I or current character is equal to the next edge case x, or current character equal the next one, which is going to be c here, right? Now I'm going to be taking the next, am I actually placing them with bigger? Yeah. I'm going to take the next character, and in order for me to do that, first I need to make sure that I'm not gonna get array outside of index boundary, something like that. It's an exception when you go out of the array boundaries, so I need to check that, and the way I do that is array index is less than s length -1. It's the same like C#, really. Now I have the possibility to take the next character, so I can say next character is going to be equal to char at array index +1. Okay, good. Now if the next character is I don't really need to do anything, so I'm going to build this string. I need to have a string, so I'm going to say, what was it, lookup string. This is going to be equal to lookup string plus current character and the next character. So now the lookup string is going to be II. Now this is not going to give me a problem if I add it and then add it again, if I add the 1 and I add the 1, but this is going to give me a problem. So now I need to check, do I have in my table here the particular lookup string? The way I can do that, of course, is if lookup string in obj, or whatever the name of your table is, then I'm going to append it to the result, obj of lookup string. Then I need to say lookup string is going to be equal to an empty one again. I'm going to double increment the index here, and I'm going to continue. If it's not, so if I is not, and it is clearly not, I'm just going to clean up my string again, and then I'm gonna go append it here. Now keep in mind that I can have IIV, which is going to say, if I have the IIV here, I'm going to take I'm gonna go and I'm gonna check what's the next character. It's gonna be II. II is nowhere to be found in my table because I didn't want to put it there. And then I'm just going to say, okay, this is going to be equal to 1 plus, and then I'm gonna have I. I'm gonna have I, I'm gonna take the next character, I'm gonna have IV. And now this is the special character, the special letter now, the special number that I'm going to add. And I have this, and this is going to be 4, and I'm gonna get the right result, which is going to be 5 here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And why are we double incrementing? So we're incrementing the index here, and then we're continuing, going back to the for loop, to the condition, and then we're incrementing it again. We are incrementing it again because if I say IV, so if I have this number, IVI, for example, I don't want to take the 4 and then take a 6. That's going to be a problem. So if I take a 4, then I want to start from the next number. And that's pretty much it. Let's actually run the code and see if that's going to work. And then we're going to be submitting it to the server. S should be a valid Roman integer. Alright, probably this was not good. You can't even do this. Result plus equal obj of lookup string. Yes, that's what I want, actually. What do we say? Result is not defined. Yes, it's not, because it's Roman to int result. Okay, use example test cases, and let's submit it to the server. Alright, let's just submit it, because we already are in the 10-minute mark. Good. Well, thank you for watching. I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them. Actually, I will answer them because we don't have a lot of comments. Thank you for watching, everyone, and see you in the next one.